From the outside, it looked like I had the kind of relationship most guys would kill for. Emma was sharp, beautiful, effortlessly charming. We'd been together almost 3 years, lived in a quiet condo on the east side, and had just started talking about getting a dog. The kind of talk that made it feel like we were moving towards something permanent. She worked at a mid-sized marketing firm, the kind where everyone's a creative and after hours, drinks were considered part of the culture. I used to joke that I knew more about her team than my own friends. She'd talk about them constantly, and one name came up more than anyone else. Evan. He was her go-to. Her work twin, the one who made the long days bearable. He's harmless, she said once. Just a nerd with good Spotify playlists. The first time I met him was at their office Christmas party. He came up to me with that too easy smile, extended his hand, and said, the famous boyfriend. Bro, she talks about you all the time. I believed him. Because why wouldn't I? He called me bro 3 more times that night. Even offered to grab me a drink when the line was long. He was friendly. Too friendly, maybe. But I didn't think much of it. But something changed after that party. She started going into the office earlier. Said Evan needed help prepping client decks before morning meetings. She worked late more often too. Campaign season, she'd say. Always justifiable. Always reasonable. But I noticed the way she started guarding her phone. Turning it face down on the table. Typing with her thumbs faster than usual. The screen lighting up with Evan more than anyone else. Still, I kept the doubts to myself. Then came the company anniversary event. A big rooftop thing downtown. Emma wanted me there, said it'd be cute to match outfits. She wore a silk navy dress that caught the light every time she moved. I couldn't stop staring at her. And maybe that's why I didn't see the sign sooner. I caught them in a moment. Just a moment. I was coming back from the bar when I saw her and Evan standing close. Just outside the circle of people. Not touching. But the way she looked at him, her eyes softened in a way they hadn't when she looked at me in weeks. He whispered something in her ear. She laughed, touched his arm lightly. Familiar to familiar. When she saw me watching, her smile faltered for a second. Then it snapped back into place like nothing had happened. I kissed her cheek and handed her the drink. Pretended I didn't see what I saw. But that night, when we got home, I couldn't fall asleep. I kept replaying it in my head. Her glance, his smirk, the air between them, charged. I told myself I was being paranoid, jealous, even. But something deep in my gut had shifted, something that wouldn't settle. That's when I decided I needed to stop trusting her words and start paying attention to the silences in between. The next few days were a performance. She kissed me goodbye in the mornings, came home with stories about client wins and office politics, laughed when I made dinner, curled into me on the couch like nothing had changed, like I hadn't seen that look in her eyes when she was with him. I didn't confront her. I wasn't ready for the lie I knew she'd tell. Instead, I watched. I started small, paid attention to the times, the way her texts would slow during the afternoons, but spike after 6 p.m. the nights she claimed she was tied up with last-minute edits. Always with Evan. Always him. One night, she left her iPad open on the dining table. She was upstairs in the shower. And I told myself not to check. Told myself if I had to go looking, maybe that was the answer already. But I looked anyway. It was sent to her messages. And there it was. A text from Evan. Sent the night of the rooftop party. That dress was unfair. Still thinking about you in it. She had replied. Late. 1:13 a.m. From bed beside me. You're bad for me. But I like it. That was all I read. I closed the iPad. Wiped the screen with the edge of my shirt like that would erase the shaking in my hands. I sat in the dark for a long time, staring at my own reflection in the black TV screen. A man who just got played in his own home. I didn't go upstairs right away. I didn't cry. I didn't punch a wall like the movies tell you to. I just sat there, still, quiet. When she came downstairs in a robe and asked why I hadn't joined her, I smiled, told her I'd lost track of time. She walked past me, poured herself a glass of wine. Her phone buzzed once on the counter, a soft, private little chime. I memorized that sound. The next morning, I started planning. Not revenge. Not yet. Just clarity. I remembered that Evan used to post tons of office selfies on Instagram. Harmless stuff, office jokes, coffee shots, Team grinding late posts. So I created a burner account just to watch. And sure enough, within a day, he posted a group photo of a few coworkers at a late-night brainstorming session. Everyone looked tired, except her. She was next to him again, laughing, leaning in. And he tagged her, my girlfriend, the woman who told me she was exhausted and ready to crash early. I didn't comment, didn't double tap. I just saved the post, the photo, the timestamp. I wasn't building a case against her. I was building a mirror, something I could eventually hold up and say, this is who you become, because the woman who kissed me at night wasn't the same one in those photos, and maybe, just maybe, she hadn't been for a while. The final straw didn't come with fireworks. It came on a Wednesday, the kind of dull, gray day that makes everything feel a little heavier than it should. Emma had suggested dinner at a small Italian place near her office. Let's do something nice, she'd said. We haven't had a proper date in weeks. I wanted to believe her. So I shaved, wore the shirt she once said brought out my eyes, and tried to act like I wasn't carrying the weight of her betrayal in my chest like a stone. She looked beautiful. She always did. But there was a lightness to her that night that didn't belong to me. A kind of glow that came from being seen by someone else, really seen. We ordered pasta, shared a bottle of wine. She laughed at my jokes, reached across the table to touch my hand. For a few moments, I almost let myself forget everything. Then he walked in. Evan. He didn't see us at first. He was with two colleagues, one I recognized from the Instagram posts. Emma froze when she saw him. Just for a second, her smile tightened. She waved. He waved back. All charm, all teeth. Didn't know you two would be here, he said, approaching our table. I stood, shook his hand. His eyes met mine for a beat too long. Then he looked at her. And she smiled, that familiar smile, the one I hadn't seen in months. Until this dinner. Small world, he said. Well, enjoy. He walked away. I sat down slowly. Emma reached for her wine, her hand trembling slightly. I didn't say anything, because I didn't need to. Later that night, in the car, I asked her softly, are you happy? She looked over, caught off guard. What do you mean? I mean with me, with us. Or is this just routine now? She paused. Of course I'm happy, but her voice cracked at the end. I nodded, looked out the window. I think I already knew the answer. When we got home, she went straight to bed. I stayed downstairs, opened the saved photos, screenshots, the messages I hadn't told her I'd seen. Then I wrote her a letter. No accusations, just truths. I left it on the kitchen table the next morning, beside a cup of coffee and a single plane ticket. One way. Her name on it. I never saw her read it, but I heard her cry. She didn't try to explain. Maybe she knew it wouldn't matter now. A week later, she moved out. Evan helped her. Of course he did. They didn't bother hiding it anymore. I didn't chase, didn't scream. I just let it all fall away, because sometimes the quietest exit leaves the loudest echo, and I'd rather walk out with my self-respect than stay for scraps of loyalty.